9. But today on CBS, the Floyd of Rosedale, Minnesota at Iowa, number 119 in this rivalry. They used to wager an actual hog back in 1935. Now they just play for the bronze pig. I don't know what Pete would have to say about that. Of course, there's a lot of Big Ten pride on the line, too. I have seen that trophy in person. It is just as epic as it looks in the photos. But only one team can secure the pig, and you can watch it all go down this afternoon on CBS. Kickoff is set for 3:30, also streaming on Paramount Plus. You see the big figure there at the top. That is PJ Fleck, and we are so excited to welcome him on the show. Coach, how are we feeling today?
Doing elite. Game day here in Iowa City, so we're doing great. Thanks for having us on the show, Emily.
I love it. So excited to talk about this rivalry. Of course, anytime you're playing for a bronze pig, that is spectacular. But maybe pretend that we are those guys in the locker room. What are you telling them today ahead of this game about what it means?
Well, first of all, it's the 119th meeting, right? So you get to be a part of this great tradition, as well as all the rivalries that are going on today. You're a small piece of it, but you get a chance to make your mark on it. There was 118 before you. There's going to be 119 after you, but you get a chance to have that small piece. And anytime you're playing Iowa, you better be precise, and you better strap up that chin strap a little tighter. But we feel the same way about ourselves as well. So I think that's what makes the rivalry so fun.
Coach Fleck, two great programs here, and you got to account for Iowa's quarterback Mark Gronowski in the run game, already 10 rushing touchdowns on the season thus far. What are you telling your defense?
You got to tackle really well. I mean, it comes down when you get to rivalry games, it's who does the fundamentals and techniques way better than the other person. You got to be able to control the football, take care of the football, create takeaways, and I'm sure they're saying the exact same thing. What's made Iowa very difficult in the past is they can run the football, but they haven't necessarily had that running quarterback element to that offense as well. Now, when they add number 11 to that mix, it changes everything. And I think that's why you see them scoring a lot more points than maybe they have before. They're way tougher to stop. It seems like every fifth or sixth play, he gets out the gate and he's running for 60 or 70 yards. And they're already difficult to defend. Offensive line is really big, really strong, really experienced. So typical Iowa, but then you add the element of the running quarterback, and now you've got to be not only more sound, but you got to tackle way better.
Well, you talked about your defense. You're playing against another outstanding defense. It seems like Iowa, they continue to have one of the best defenses in the Big Ten year after year. So what are you emphasizing to your young quarterback, Drake Lindsey, with his opportunity to go against one of the best defenses in the Big Ten?
Be precise and be patient. Iowa, they kind of just back you in the corner and wait for you to make mistakes. When you look at Iowa, and they've always kind of been this way, it always starts with their defense. It doesn't mean their offense isn't very good. It just starts with their defense. You've got to take what the defense gives you. You've got to be really patient. You got to be precise. You've got to beat Iowa in levels, right? Because they do such a great job playing their zone coverage and then mixing it up on third down with a lot of their blitz schemes. But they blitz a lot in the second half, so he's just going to have to do a really good job getting us in the right runs early and then being precise in the pass game.
Coach, I'm looking at the top 25 rankings, and I see Minnesota only gets one vote for a top 25 team, and yet you're 5-2. There are a lot of teams in the top 25 that are 5-2. What do you need to gain the respect of the national media to start getting some of the recognition for the job you guys are doing?
Well, this is our 9th year being here, and we've been ranked as high as 7, I think, in the country, and we're really proud of the work we've done here and having that cultural sustainability. I think it's just consistency, Danny. I think that's the biggest thing people want to see. We do have cultural sustainability. We have a really, really tough league. Our losses right now, when you look at us to Ohio State, which everybody's losing to Ohio State that way, and then to a really good Cal team on the road. But, we can only control what we can control, Danny, being 1-0 against Iowa and doing that. And then the respect comes. The one thing I always tell our players, respect yourselves and respect this football team. And all the respect on the outside will come, because that's stuff we can't control. I mean, I know that sounds like coach speak, but it really is. But if we respect ourselves, we respect this football team, we respect how the way we play, then eventually those things come with it.
You've mentioned Iowa's run game, particularly with their quarterback, but yours has gotten a little influx of juice as well with Darius Taylor looking healthy now. What does he add to your offense?
Yeah, I mean, we have really good players here, but we're not as deep maybe as some other teams. So when we lose our best players, I think that impacts and affects us a lot. And not having Darius for 3 games, I mean, that was really different for us because he is the best player on our football team, one of the best players on your football team. But he's so dynamic. I mean, last year he caught 54 passes, plus almost ran for 1,000 yards. So when you're losing one of your best pass catcher, plus one of your running backs, that makes you change your offense a little bit. Having him back, having him healthy allows us to be as balanced as possible, not necessarily just saying run pass. I believe balanced offenses, it means that you can win the game either through the air or on the ground, because you're going to have to be able to do both of those at some point, because somebody's going to do everything they can to make you one-dimensional. And in that one-dimensional game, can you still execute with what they're making you do at a really high level? So Darius adds that element with us, and I think he's one of the better players in the country, and it's good to have him back and healthy.
Coach, you're one of the longer tenured coaches in the game. There's not a lot of job security in this business, as you know. But I'm curious, since when you took over in 2017 to now in 2025, there's been a lot of changes in college football. How have you changed? Have you had to change your coaching style at all to today's player?
Well, a long time ago, I taught 6th grade elementary school, so I'm a pretty creative guy at nature. I usually don't like things getting stale, but I think there's a bunch of things. I'm always willing to adapt. I think you have to adapt or you're going to die on the vine, but I don't think I'm ever going to change who I am morally, ethically. And so you have to adapt with this new era, and you have to find out how that works and fits for your culture and your program. What's good for somebody else might not necessarily be good for you. What's good for us might not be good for somebody else. So you've got to continue to adapt or you're going to die on the vine. What's new today is old tomorrow for these young people that are in 2025. So we take a lot of pride in how we run our culture, how we keep things really fresh, and how we continue to advance our culture into the future. But I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing now that you're it's Kirk Ferentz and us in terms of the most tenured, which just says how great he's done at Iowa. And I'm not so sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing at times.
Hey, Coach, so follow me here. I'm a true freshman. I'm a part of your team. I don't know a lot about this rivalry, but I'm getting geared up. I'm from South Florida. I'm getting ready to get geared up and play against Iowa. What are you going to tell me and the rest of my teammates right before we leave the locker room to go to battle?
You better be in for a rock fight, and that's exactly what it is. You better strap it up just a little bit tighter. This is one of the best environments in all of college football. I heard you guys talking about that earlier with Danny, and playing in Iowa City is a hostile environment. These are two states that don't like each other very much, and you can definitely feel it once you step foot on that field. It's a hostile environment, but that's what college football is all about, and you wouldn't want to have it any other way. But you better be the one throwing the biggest, sharpest rocks. That's for sure.
We absolutely love it. We know your team will. They always do. Coach PJ Fleck, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having us on the show, everybody. Row the boat, Sky Mile, go Gophers.
There you go. We got to row the boat out of him, so I count that as a success.
I wanted a canoe. Yeah, we threw around that idea. Like, we could have all been sitting in the canoe, rowing the boat while we did that interview.
Yeah.
Come on.
Next time.
I don't know where we would
This
go.
is
Next
a big
time,
desk.
Can we put the canoe here?
I don't know.
Thinking about it, just
Would've
flood
worked
the
that out.
studio and just turn our seats upside
I feel like
down.
it could
and just keep
fit.
rolling.
We love college football here on this show, and we know the big rivalries, and we know the bronze pig and everything, but for some people that might not know about this one, this is kind of more of an underrated rivalry. B-Mac, you heard him say it. These states, not schools, states do not like each other.
Yeah.
What makes this such a great rivalry?
Just the tradition, just the historical tradition associated with both universities in terms of the dislike. There's a mutual respect, but they hate each other. And that's what college football is all about in terms of the long line of going back and forth, the battles. And when you talk about this rivalry, on the national side of things, it might not be the first name you throw out. But for these two schools, for these states, they know exactly how important this game is. And that's why I wanted to ask Coach Fleck that question. What about some of the outer state prospects that they get to come to their university? You have to really instill the knowledge about what this rivalry means and why it's so important, because a lot of us don't know from other places until we get to that said university. For me and Danny, we were Florida kids. So we already knew about Florida State not liking Miami, Florida Florida State not liking Florida. But what about some out-of-state kids that goes to these universities that are a part of these historical rivalries? They have to understand and know why you dislike the player you're going against. And then it means more to you to go out and put forth your best effort.
Which I love that too, because their quarterback, Drake Lindsey, is from Fayetteville, Arkansas. So he's somebody that grew up in SEC territory and is being introduced to this rivalry today. Who wins the game, though, Cardale?
You know what? This is tough. And B-Mac made some good points about playing in rivalry games. Usually records and all the rankings, that stuff go out the window. But on this situation, I'm going to go with Iowa. And specifically, Minnesota has not been a great road team, the 2 losses that they have.
On the road.
At Cal, at Ohio State. And just something seemed to be missing. And Coach Fleck actually mentioned it was my biggest key for for Iowa winning this game. Iowa has always been a tough run team and always played great defense. Now you add the quarterback and the legit +1 run game. That adds a whole different dynamic.
Yes.
We saw what they did 2 weeks ago up in Wisconsin versus Wisconsin, 37 points. I thought I was seeing something when I saw 37 points by Iowa offense. But, Mark Gronowski gives that defense, gives their offense a completely different element that adds a different thing to stop for the Iowa offense.
I'm right there with you. When you look at Gronowski and what he's done, I think he leads FBS at the quarterback position in rushing touchdowns. I think he has around 10. That's a new dimension to their offense. You look at the young quarterback on the road, he hasn't fared well in the 2 most recent road opportunities, Cal and Ohio State. And then you look at just the trend in this rivalry. Out of the last 10 meetings, Iowa has won 9. They just know how to win. In this said game in Minnesota, they have found ways to lose when they play against the Hawkeyes. So I'm right there with Cordell.
PJ's gone, right? Like, he's not going to hear us all picking the other way. Because he's a great coach. I just think this is an uphill battle for him today.
So
oh, you do? Okay, good. So that's good. You think a close game. And I thought it was interesting because he said you better strap up the chin strap a little tighter. It's going to be a rock fight. It is going to be a lower scoring affair where it's going to feature a lot of defense on display. In that type of game, I'll take Iowa.
All right. Will Iowa keep the pig? Find out at 3:30 Eastern on CBS. It's big time. Minnesota at Iowa. You can watch this game this afternoon on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.